What's up, Ontario? We are back with the vlog again. This week we are going to be talking about the value of the arts in the church. Here we go. So you might happen to be any kind of artistically inclined person. A singer, a musician, a poet, a sculptor, a painter, a writer, a graphic designer, a videographer, a playwright, an animator, spoken word artist, a clothing designer, a dancer, a choreographer, a photographer. Hold on, wait, was that just a really long list of people? How is it there are so many different forms of art out there and so many different types of artists, and yet within the church we don't see that much art being produced? Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh boy, here we go, Max, we're gonna criticize the church again, but hang in there, bear with me. The current model of church seems to treat the arts as something that's nice, kind of like the icing on the cake, but not the main thing itself. Artists kind of get to decorate the mission of the church without actually being the mission itself. You know, we'll have a song here, a well-designed advertisement for a church event there, a painting of Jesus. Literally, you can't paint anything besides Jesus. And maybe some decently lit photographs advertising a church event. Beyond that, there doesn't seem to be much we can do with the arts. So is that all the arts really have to offer the Christian faith? We definitely know that God gives artistic gifts. In Exodus, we see God specifically gifting people for the arts to create decorations for the tabernacle. So we know God gives people artistic gifts, and we know from experience that people can harness and develop and hone those gifts. Now, an interesting writer named N.T. Wright has said that the modern world has split the arts up into two different directions. On the one hand, happy or positive or cheerful things are seen as kind of cheesy, kind of tacky, disconnected from reality. On the other hand, real art is sometimes almost like anti-aesthetic, where the more ugly, the more brutal, the more raw something is, the more it can be seen as real art. When something is really, really intense or like dark or kind of in your face, it's seen as being more honest. Whereas the more hopeful or light-hearted or optimistic things might be seen as a kind of wishful thinking that is not connected to reality. On the one hand, we do understand that life can be kind of ugly sometimes. We live in that. Bad things happen, and sometimes they seem unexplainable. While this is true, Christians are called to acknowledge that, 1, yes, the world is an ugly and sometimes dangerous and painful place to live. 2, despite that, this world was originally created good, and much of that beauty and goodness and glory can still be seen if you look for it. 3, God has enacted a plan by which He is going to fill the earth with His glory and goodness all over again. The Christian artist has the task of using their gifts to acknowledge all of these things. The world is a broken and painful place to live, but we still see the original beauty and glory of God's creation, and we hope to see the day where His glory will fill the earth all over again, and indeed believe that He is already doing this through Jesus, through the Holy Spirit, and through the church. Too often, Christian art is too positive or too optimistic, too triumphalistic, to the point that it seems disconnected from reality. If you only listened to Christian music, for example, a lot of the time you'd be led to assume that Christians don't really suffer, or that when they do suffer, it's like a really light, soft kind of suffering. Hence, sometimes it can come across as kinda cheesy. The Christian artist has the duty to say, yes, there is this sadness, there is this pain, there is this broken world we live in, but there's also glory and beauty that comes from God. These two forces are fighting with each other and trying to push the other one out. But in spite of how real the badness is in this present world, the glory and beauty are going to win, and indeed have already begun to win through Jesus. So whatever your art form is, whether you write songs, or take pictures, or sew stitches, your job is to find a way that your medium expresses how God's glory and God's beauty and goodness are slowly taking shape and reshaping this world within its brokenness. Using your artistic gift as a witness can be a lens for reshaping the way people see reality and seeing how God fills and is present in everything. You can use your gift as a lens for how people see the world. You can change and shift worldview using your art. And as a final warning, resist the urge to make everything Christian. There's a saying that says, a Christian shoemaker honors God by making good shoes for anybody, not by making mediocre shoes with little crosses all over them. Yes, you can paint that picture of a flower and have that reflect God's characteristics and beauty and goodness. You don't necessarily have to put Jesus in the picture in order to reflect him. What do you think? Do you have another perspective on this? Have you done art that you believe is a picture of God's glory? Share that in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. News is coming up right now. Sorry about the delay. I know we missed a week of the vlog. It's been really busy around here getting ready for the Canadian Adventist Youth Summit. So actually, as you're watching this, I'm probably in Alberta for the summit. I'm gonna be taking some video there, just kind of documenting what things are like on the go over there, and it should be pretty fun. But yeah, stay tuned to all of our social media because there's going to be a lot of information coming up within the next little bit about camp meeting and the compassion outreach. Your youth group and your youth leaders should be receiving some news about that anyhow, some updates. But make sure you get connected to that because it's going to be really cool. For a lot of you, I'll see you at the Adventist Youth Summit. And for the rest of you, see you next week. Peace out.